Welcome back to the Mountain Outpost here at Javelina 100. I am Zach Marion, and I am joined by three legends of the sport and my co-host Leah Yingling.
Hi, everyone.
And we also have Catra, Corbett here, and
Hello.
David Bliss, who have absolutely some amazing recognition here at the Javelina 100. Catra, I'm going to start off with you. You have probably the longest ultra sign-up list I have ever seen in my life.
I'm looking at it as we speak, and it is 329 races long and dates back to 1998.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
1998. And also...
I was 10.
Yeah, that's what you were. Very, very young start.
Yeah.
Very young start. You got to be at least 18 by now, is what I would say. And David, you are also a legend of the sport. Here back in 2003 for the inaugural Javelina 100. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 2003 was the first one.
Oh my gosh! And we're going for what finish here?
10th. I'm taking my third attempt at my 10th finish. Yes.
Awesome. We're definitely gonna be out there cheering you on for that 10th, that decade of Javelina 100 hours out here. Catra, I'm gonna start off with you a little bit. You're no stranger to this race.
Nope.
You're no stranger to the desert. You know what to expect out here. So I really don't want to dive into any of that. What am most interested in is what outfit are you wearing tomorrow?
Not telling. You have to.
Oh, come on.
I guess I can, but I'm not going to elaborate on it. People will be very surprised. So I'm going to be a Dr. Seuss character. Me and my friend Joyce are both dressing up the same, but we're complete opposites on how our costumes are going to look. So I'm thing 1 and she's thing 2, but it's not like a cute thing. So if anybody saw my costume a couple of years ago, I tried to outdo that. So if we can outdo Alice in Purgeland, I should be able to win.
Oh, amazing.
Wow, Catra Corbett
It's
out
gonna
Catra
be
Corbetting
crazy.
herself. This
Yeah,
is going
I
to
am.
be.
I'm trying
This is
my
what I am most
best.
excited for of the race tomorrow.
Everybody is. We're like, what are you going to be? What are you going to be? I'm like, I can't tell you. So
And David, you made mention that your last couple races here, you were also going for your 10th finish at Javelina. Talk to us a little bit about the last couple attempts. What went well, what went wrong, what you're going to be coming to this race with this year.
What went well is it's always fun here, and it's always good to come back out here. What went wrong is I'm old. So
You got another year older. That's
Yes.
what went wrong.
it gets harder.
Stop.
They're
I'm
not
older
lying
than
about
you.
that. You are not older than me.
How old are you?
61.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not that old. I'll be 59 this
Damn,
year.
she just did that to me right now.
she just called you out on the Mountain Outpost, made you.
I remember you when you were 10.
Age
She
is just
neglected.
a
She
number,
just said, "I'm not that
though.
old."
Age is just a number. You need to train smarter.
I don't do anything smart.
I absolutely love it. Well, you both come here with a history, not only in the sport, but of this course specifically. What are some things you can tell the viewers at home to expect for tomorrow's race? Catra, we'll start with you.
So it's dry and it's going to be hot, even if it's not 100 degrees.
Welcome to Arizona.
80, yeah, and I live in the desert. I live in the high desert in Bishop, so I love dry heat. So what people need to do is take into consideration that going into that second loop, you need to slow down if you're not trying to win the race. That's, for most people.
Also, sage advice for wanting to win the race
Yeah,
as well.
this is
seriously.
true. Yeah, so the first race, you could get overly getting ahead of yourself because everybody goes out super fast, so you still just got to maintain. But going into the second loop, I highly recommend keeping ice on you. Just get through that second loop, and then once you get through that, then it'll start cooling down. So I've just seen so many people get doing the 100, and they get to that fourth loop and they're finished.
Yeah.
They're finished because they went out too fast in those first two loops, and in that heat they crashed. And they
Quite
can't
literally
regroup.
cooked.
Yeah, and you can't regroup from that a lot of times. I mean, most people can't. If you get heat stroke or heat, exhaustion, you can't recover very quickly from that out there.
And David, you going for your 10th finish here, you have probably learned some lessons over the years here at Javelina. What are some things that you didn't do your first year that you are going to be doing this year? Some lessons you've learned over the years.
I echo what Catra said. I've been guilty of going out too hard, and it's easy to do here. The other thing I've learned is that some of the best aid stations you will see are at this race, and you want to kind of hang out there. But when you add up that many stops over a course of 100 miles, that's a lot of time. And so I've learned to get in, get out, get what I need, and keep going. And I don't want to sit down. I can walk, take what I need. So I've been able to help myself get a little further ahead on the course by just keep going and not falling in the temptation of wanting to hang out.
That's why you're always ahead of me, because I stopped to dance at night.
I was not dancing. That's right.
I like that you bring up the aid stations, because before this interview, we were talking about what the aid stations at Javelina looked like back in 2003, 2004, and those early years. So talk us through some of those early years when you guys first came to Javelina. What did the race look like? What's different now? I'm sure a lot of things. But what stands out most to you guys?
It was just a table with some chips and some drinks and maybe a few people at the aid station. It was kind of a self-serve. And that's what you knew. And doing ultras back in those days, that was just kind of how it was. Yep. It wasn't like an elaborate thing.
The communal Vaseline tub.
Yes. Everybody sticking their hands in it. No little spatulas.
Yep.
But yeah, it was super low key.
Well, I remember in 03, so we pulled up and we parked. It was at the start finish was at the main pavilion area. So we just pulled in there. We parked right in front, had a little pop-up tent, the little triangle thing, popped it up. And then we just Jerry K said a few things, and then we kind of went out running. And then there was card tables out there. That was our stations, and we had our names written on the board, and they crossed it off as you come through. That was it.
So cool.
No fanfare. No, it was pretty basic.
The sport has definitely changed over the years. I mean, 2003, I was graduating high school, so it was definitely some time ago, and I wasn't into the sport, so I came into it around the early 20-teens, and I've always known Javelina to be a party. That's just what it's always been, and it seems like you guys have been here before it turned into that party. Is it more exciting to be here now? Is it something you look forward to be a part of all of that electricity that this race specifically just carries with it?
I like it. I mean, I like the party atmosphere. I'm all about the costume thing, you know. Like the first year I ran it, I didn't run in a costume. But every year after that, I've always tried to outdo myself in the costume department. And yeah, I like it. It has gotten really big. You know, I used to like that we would be able to see each other on the washing machine loops, but I totally understand why they're keeping everybody one direction. When it grows this big, people are confused where they go, you know, coming and going, but you could see everybody. So I miss being able to see everybody, because now I don't get to see half the people out there to see who my competition is in the costume department. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's changed. I think the original course, it was one direction, and there's been different iterations over the years as different people, and Jamil came in and has been different, and for different reasons, right? The size of the race has grown exponentially. I think the thing that hasn't changed though was the costumes. That was the original. Even the first year they were doing that with Jerry, and I have not changed or outdone myself. Actually, mine's reduced to just my wig now. Used to be more to it, and now it's just the hair.
I see the Batman shirt.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be some foreshadowing of your outfit tomorrow, but
So we're
being
just going to
weird.
see a wig? You said a wig is what we're going to
Yeah,
see?
so the long, really long curly wig.
Okay.
Blonde, that's me.
Oh, I'm
He wears a blonde curly wig.
That sounds kind of hot.
I know. And people think I have an issue running my costume. I'm like, no, I am not wearing a wig. That would be very difficult.
that would be absolutely warm. Yeah, no, Leah and I will definitely we'll be out on the course tomorrow throughout sections, so we do want to know what you guys are going to look like so we can cheer you on specifically, and that the viewers at home. No, I have a sneaky suspicion you will be very apparent when you come through, and we'll be very happy to chat with you out on the course. And you know, David, obviously we're going to look for that giant wig. How has your training gone this year leading into the race? I mean, we've had a lot of fun talking about the history. We've had a lot of fun talking about, you know, your individual histories here in the sport and here at Javelina. But let's talk about your training. What brings you that confidence, David, specifically, that you're going to get that 10th finish this year?
Yes. So after the last few DNFs, I took it seriously this year, as I'm notorious for not training well. And so I was training really well this year, to the point that I hurt myself.
No.
So I'm coming in with some post-tib tendinitis that hurts a lot. And so I was actually going to see if I could go out with a bang on my tendon sub 24 again, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to be just trying to get done and deal with that do with my legs. So my training was going really well, to answer your question, but then kind of fell apart when I got an injury. So I'm just out here to have fun and just get to the end now today.
Some races are about the time, some races are about the finish, and it sounds like this is it. And a 10th finish, that's definitely the one that you're just out here to finish, and we definitely wish you the best and hope you can get out there. Catra, what do you bring into this year? I mean, you're Catra. You do what you do, but has anything changed in training?
No. So I was at Moab, and I had a DNF there at mile 100. And my friend was having a really rough time out there, so I realized he wasn't going to finish, and I'm one convincing him to do all these 200s. So I had to suck it up after I had been throwing up for like 3 hours, and I didn't eat for 12 hours. But I had 2 days to recover to get back out to pace him the last 40 miles. So I went painfully slow, 18 hours for 40 miles, but I got him to the finish with like 22 minutes to spare.
Oh, no way. That is incredible.
So I always look at things like why things happen for a reason. I was meant to DNF to get him to that finish line so his little kids could watch him come across on the live stream and cheer him on and stuff. So I'm getting all emotional over it.
That's the best story.
But, so that was my training for this, It's like sometimes we just don't. And I decided, just with like coming back a week ago and just being like tore up from that, I'm gonna drop down to the 100K so I can have more fun. So I think running the 100 miles is not so important here anymore for me because I have 10 finishes. So I decided I like to
rub it in David's face.
Yes, hey, maybe you can finish and then pace David in for his last lap.
So I'm all about the party and stopping at Jackass and having fun. I mean, I hope to finish like in 17 hours would be fun, and I'm running with my friend Joyce, so she's not trained past 40 miles, so she's faster than me, so I'm like, go out on your first loop, you can run fast.
Yeah, we'll find each other.
Yeah, so because we're wearing our matching kind of costumes, we're like a theme, and we were a theme a couple of years ago, and she was just my pacer, and she won for second place for the costume competition because she was with me, so I'm like, we got to go with our theme again. But I'm here just to have fun and just, kind of just cheer everybody on. Like, I'm excited for all these first timers that are out here. A lot of people I've convinced to come out to do this because as your first one, you're less nervous without all this, with all these distractions. So it's easier to be able to run 100 miles in the desert with people in crazy costumes passing you. You're like, I got this, you know?
Yeah, the theme of Javelina is definitely party pace.
Yes.
It is
yep,
party
I'm all
pace
about the party
all
pace.
day
As
long.
I've gotten older, party pace. Like 200 miles I'm good at because I can party pace for 5 days, 4 days, whatever, I'm
hearing a consistent theme of you convincing people to do these silly things.
I do.
And then you have to convince them it's a good idea or help them finish.
That's what I'm good at.
Well, amazing. We're so excited to follow you both out there tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hopefully we're seeing 2 finishes, one in the 100K
Yep.
and the 10th finish in the 100-miler for you, David. It's going to be a warm one, so take care of yourself out there.
Ice.
Have some fun party pacing.
Thanks.
Before we go, what would you say to the users at home? Why should they come and do Javelina 100 next year?
Because it's fun. It's a party. If anything, come one time, to enjoy it. And in fact, next year I'm trying to get my friend Julia to come out. I'm like,
Another
you've never
one.
been there, I'll run it again if you come out, everybody needs to experience it. I mean, you could see all the pictures, you could see all the videos, but you have to be here to truly immerse yourself and to see the experience, be part of it. So,
as Mima used to say, if someone jumped off a bridge, would you do it? You are that person jumping off the bridge every single time, and I likely would follow. David, let's hear from you. Why should anyone come and do Javelina next year?
There's really no other thing like it. No other race or actually a thing like it. So to Catra's point, it's something to experience for sure. If you want to run and you want to do your first 100 or your 10th 100 or whatever it is, you got to come see this for sure.
Do you guys have crews supporting you out there?
not really. I mean, I have a set-up area with friends, but I mean, I'm self-sufficient. It's easy.
You've been doing it long enough that you know what you need.
Yeah, I got everything I need.
Yeah, most year I've had no crew, no pacer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the aid stations are awesome, by the way, so you don't really need anybody.
Yeah. I have a pacer this year for one loop, but just because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Who'd you have and why'd you bring him?
Just a friend that I run with sometimes. I have a running group, and we actually do the aid station at Jackass during the day.
Oh,
and
cool.
so she's going to come out just to do a loop with me, just to see it. Really, she
Congrats.
hasn't seen it before, so really more for her to experience the course.
You're slowly pulling her into the race. That's what we're
Yes,
doing.
It's getting dangerous.
I absolutely
Easy
love
to
it.
suck 'em in.
David, Catra, thank you guys so much for joining
Thank
us today
you.
and giving the viewers at home some knowledge on the course and some excitement and some of your experiences out here. It was a pleasure getting to know you guys.
Thank
We
you.
wish you the best of luck tomorrow. Stay cool, stay fast, and we will see you at the finish line.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.